regardless of what that is, whether that's money, whether that's the spouse you desire, whether that's the job promotion that you want, the children. God oftentimes does not give us the things that we desire immediately because he desires to see us grow first. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is your favorite man of God, Robert Harold. Super excited that you would decide to watch my video. Today, I'm going to talk about being sustained and how God sustains us to prepare us. I've been through a handful of seasons like this. I've been through seasons where things are really good. I've been through seasons where things are really bad. But I've also just been through seasons where God just kind of sustains you. And it's kind of a frustrating thing to go through, right? I'm sure whenever the Israelites were in the wilderness, they didn't really love the fact that they were being fed manna, but that's exactly what God does when He wants to sustain you. A lot of times, we don't get exactly what we want from God because He's teaching us things in this specific season. And a lot of times people are so focused on what they want and they're not really understanding or they're not really focused on who they're becoming. And it's so important to focus more on who you're becoming rather than what you have, right? Because God doesn't desire for us to be materialistic, and He cares more about our character than our comfort. I'm going to say that again. God cares more about your character than your comfort. And so, if you look at many stories in the Bible, God talks about just sustaining you. He says that I am your daily bread, right? And it's so important that you realize that God is our daily bread, our daily manna. And when we rely on him, he works everything out for our good, as shown in Romans 8:28. There's so many different verses on this type of topic in the Bible, and I just wanted to jump on and share my specific story about how God has just sustained me in my current season. I really feel like God has done this for an extended period of time in my life. Um, and it's honestly probably because I have not learned the lesson that God has been trying to teach me. um, for a while now, I've been very focused on real estate investing and buying houses, flipping houses, doing rental properties. And I can honestly say that there's never really been a time where things have just come in absolute abundance. It's slow, right? It's slow and steady. And that's okay, right? We don't always just have to get wealthy. Being wealthy is honestly a gift from God, but He's only going to give it to select people that He can really trust with that wealth. God really doesn't want us to be so focused on money that we're not focused on Him. But yeah, for a while now, like I've sold houses, but it hasn't been like boom, house. Like it hasn't been super amazing abundance of sales. And it's quite frustrating, honestly. Like, I really have wanted to achieve a level of success where I felt like I could get a little bit comfortable. Um, but it's just never happened for me. And it's slow and steady. Like, and that's okay, right? Everybody's journey is different. Some people go quick, some people go slow. For me, it's been just a challenge. And I've learned so much in this career of real estate starting 7 years ago. I can honestly say I am a different person head to toe. Like God has really done a work in my life and he's used this avenue of real estate to really develop my character. And I know it's such a great vehicle for me to build wealth, but this again lines up with what the Bible says in Proverbs 13:11. It says, "Dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow." And that's been so true. It's been so true. Like, I really feel like I have such a great portfolio, but I've never had just millions of dollars in my bank account. Like, truth be told, I've never had just this massive overflow of income. But through that process, I have just become an amazing man of God. And I'm so proud of where I've come from and like where I'm at now. So, to God be the glory. In Matthew 6:24 it says, "No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money." I think it's so cool that God puts us in this place many times of sustaining to teach us that we don't serve money, right? We use money as a tool to grow his kingdom, but we don't serve money. And until you really get this down, God is not going to trust you with wealth. He loves you too much for you to essentially screw yourself over. It's almost like a parent child relationship. In fact, it is a parent child relationship, right? When a child is growing up, you don't always give the child what it wants. And the reason for that is because the child needs to learn things like discipline. It needs to learn things like responsibility. It needs to learn things like patience. And if you were just to give your child everything that they asked for all the time, your child would be spoiled rotten. Your child would not be everything they should be. And it's so important that you really grasp this concept, because if you don't, you're going to stay in the sustaining season. Um, and it's important that you realize that God can only be first. God can only be first in your life. It also talks about this parent child relationship in Hebrews 12, where it says, "Endure hardship as discipline. God is treating you as his children. For what children are not disciplined by their father? If you are not disciplined and everyone undergoes discipline, then you are not legitimate, not true sons and daughters at all. Moreover, we have all had human fathers who disciplined us, and we respected them for it. How much more should we submit to the Father of spirits and live? They disciplined us for a little while as though they thought best, but God disciplines us for our good in order that we may share in his holiness." And I think that's so awesome that God really does love us so much that he would discipline us and not always give us exactly what we ask for when we ask for it. Um, Even though it says in the Bible that God does give you the things that you ask for, it is at an appropriate time. So just take heart that even though you may be walking through a season of sustaining, it does not mean God has forgotten you. It does not mean God is mad at you. It means that he actually loves you and he wants to see character growth before he gives you the thing, regardless of what that is, whether that's money, whether that's the spouse you desire, whether that's the job promotion that you want, the children. God oftentimes does not give us the things that we desire immediately because he desires to see us grow first. So just trust God that he knows exactly what he's doing. Just trust him in this process. It's okay to continue to want these things. It's okay to have these healthy desires. And this is all not to say that you shouldn't continue to trust God for the things that you're asking for or the desires that you want. In Proverbs 13:12, it says, "Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a longing fulfilled is a tree of life." How true that is, right? When we do finally get the thing that we've been asking God for, it's like a breath of fresh air. It's so much better whenever God gives it to us. It's so much better when we don't get it out of our own strength and we get it as a blessing. God oftentimes does this too so that he gets the max glory, right? He wants as much glory as he can all to himself. And if he was to give us certain gifts that we truly desire in our hearts too early, it would rob God of the glory that he gets. And he's not going to do that to himself. So just take heart that God is doing all of this for a reason. God is sustaining you and giving you the next step and the next step and the next piece of bread and the next piece of bread. And that's okay, right? Just trust him. Trust him with everything. He's got your back. You don't need to worry about anything. Also, don't forget about Psalm 119, 105, where it says, "Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path." Notice that when a light is shown on your feet, it's very difficult to see what's in front of you. It's very difficult to see the end, but God gives you the next step, right? He shows you where the next step is because it's pointed at your feet. So just trust God. He has the next step in mind. He knows where you're going next. He understands your desires. Just trust Him in this sustaining season. It's so important that you continue to develop your character in this season. And it's so important that you would trust God above all else. Remember Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. It's one of my favorite verses. Make sure to take that to heart. This is Robert just giving you one more video. Make sure to like and subscribe and to share this with your friends. Again, this video was about God sustaining you. I love you so much. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Peace.